Okay, guys, so sorry if I've not been playing a whole lot. What I've been doing while I was gone, I've been doing homework and college work, all that stuff. And I've just kind of been busy and swamped up to my freaking ass in work. But when people come on stream or go in the chat, I'm going to show them something cool. We need to start doing this game again. What game? Oh, that scared me. I'm like, did someone just enter my world? I'm like, oh wait, it's my automated train. I built this giant battery, and want to look at it. I want to take a picture of it, so I could show my teacher tomorrow, because the teacher tomorrow is teaching a battery class. So yeah, lithium and zinc are both components of batteries, is what I've learned. These are probably lithium-zinc, lithium-ion zinc batteries. That thing, lithium-ion zinc. Okay, now, I have to explain something. I found out that these exist. When I was on Season 6, I was like, oh, could we please get a giant XL resource can? And they frickin' delivered. Look at the size of this thing. This is the... Okay, right? This is a medium one. And for, I don't know, for all of Season 6 and most of Season 5, we were with this large one. And everybody thought this was big. Well, guess what? Astroneer said, you think that's big? Nope. And just adds this, which is like triple the freaking size of its smaller cousin. Look at the size of it. It holds 2,000 nuggets. This one only holds 400. I thought these held 800. 2,000 nuggets. That's a lot of resources, man. You know it's so good when they can't even put it on the top. They have to put it on the side. That is nuts. Thank you, Astroneer. You did pretty good. Just wow. Okay, now Astroneer, you know I'm gonna say it. Please, large and XL gas can, large and XL, what's it called? Soil can. Please, please, and thank you. They're gonna add it sometime. They added large and XL solar and wind. Excuse me. Brussels sprout looking Yup, this is it. The battery system. This is the... So I did this as a lag test. This battery system is consistent. I lost... I think I had a paper to calculate all these, but I lost it. I think it's able to store at least anywhere between 1 to 3 million units of power, which is absolutely nutty. Big ass battery system. So we're gonna be playing Season 6 again. And if you don't know, this is the planet where we are actually living on Novus. Our primary base is on Novus. We have a giant equatorial... We have a giant like path on the equator, and it is aligned with solar panels. So we get light, at least probably, I'd say roughly 1,000 units of power a second. Literally at all times, at bare minimum. At least 500 to 1,000 power units a second. Which is amazing, but I want to build a battery system because I want to store all that energy that's just being collected and it's not being used. Yeah, big ass battery system. Huge battery system. The amount of lithium I'm gonna need to mine, and the amount of zinc and resin. The good thing is that this brand new machine, or this brand new storage tank, will definitely help me out on obtaining all the materials, or at least storing them. But the problem is that they cannot be transported on our current day rail cars. So that is a task that's up to, oh, we gotta be able to get that tank. Oh. Shit. But yeah, I saw the price, I'm like, damn! Not 1, but 2 nanocarbon alloy, exochip, and diamond. Yeah, this thing is not cheap. This is expensive. I'm about to say, yeah, because like the other one costs a glass, titanium, but these are a little bit hard. It's the nanocarbon right here that causes the biggest concern. Because it is a little bit difficult to, it's difficult to acquire. It's not impossible, it just takes a little bit of time. Okay, now here's the only problem I see, right? Now, I knew the last time I left off, I was making paths between each of these pillars, and then the areas between the pillars were going to be turned into rooms, and the path between the pillars were going to be turned into tunnels, but I don't know exactly where it is, so I may have to remember the loadout, and that's kind of a bitch and stuff. So how do you get that device? Yeah, you're gonna have to do quests to get it. Okay, Tapper. I want to know what this is. Hopefully we should have aluminum. Now, it's gonna take me a while to get myself back in Astroneer because, again, I don't know where is, I don't know that there was copper here a second ago. I think we do have an aluminum can that just has a lot of aluminum. Yup, there it is. 200 aluminum, just to be exact. Huh? Where's my aluminum? Is it on my backpack? Oh, I see it. I barely see it. There's a DLC coming, so I really want to get ready for that DLC on this. And you know what? I told my chat that I want to get ready, quote unquote, just get ready for this a new year of 2025. Hey, right, okay, where's my cab? I do remember that I did build an elevator all the way up. Let's see if I remember. Okay, Christian. Chat. I'm sorry that I wasn't live. I was busy. But you know what? We got a new friend. I want you guys to meet my brand new friend, chat. Now, a few days ago, you probably knew I was talking about getting something big and beastie. Okay, let's see if I can unlock the wheels to this thing, because this is a big-ass machine. You ready to see my new friend? Oh, man, chat. Oh my gosh, this thing is so huge. We did it! Chat, I'd like to introduce you to my new friend. The Cummins Allison Jet Sort Model 2000. This bad boy can process about 40 coins per frickin' second. They go in this little pipe and out these little chutes. It is a beast of engineering, 20 years old. It bankrupted multiple of their competitors, and because of this, they are the last company to make such a machine. This thing is a beast. I still own it, but the other counter counted at least 85 seconds to count $100. There's way too many pennies, way too many nickels or anything. Yeah, I might be lagging. This thing is 120 pounds? Let me see my stream. It might be you, because I'm not lagging. Oh my god, this thing's heavy. It is a beast. I love it. It took me 2 hours to go drive to get this machine, and 2 hours back. So, you probably was hearing me about... Nice. Anyway, before I was saying that, well... So, chat, if you didn't hear me, I have been speaking of getting a new coin counter. Actually, why does that actually sound interesting? Not that that's a bad idea, that actually sounds kind of cool. Board up the restaurant. But anyway, I have been talking about getting a new... what's it called? I've been talking about getting a new coin counter. Well, I did. I did it. And there's a few things in my life where I buy something and I'm like, why the hell did I buy that? And that machine is not one of them. That is one of the coolest machines I currently own. I feel so proud of myself. It took me 4 hours to go drive to get that damn thing. But yeah. My other one, I had to sort quarters, and I had to go sort dimes. I had to go sort quarters, then nickels, then pennies, and dimes. And then after that, I would the pennies would appear in the quarters when it ejected them, so I had to rerun the quarters. It was such a pain in the ass to actually run the machine that I have right now. But now with this new machine, I can just run one batch of coins, no mechanical action. I've ran probably 20,000 coins through it. It's jammed once, and that jam didn't take too long to clear. Overall, beast. 10 out of 10 machine. I need hydrazine. Where's my hydrazine? Oh, there's a good pile of it right there. Oh man, if my dumbass accidentally slip, I need to not have this hydrazine right here. Because if I slip and I put this hydrazine right on these furnaces, it's gonna blow everything in this room up. It's gonna detonate. On the amount of batteries I got. Nice. I love zombie games. Okay, so there's this thing called a tapper, and I really want to go see what it does. Let's see, we got 10 launches to go. We're very low on fuel, so we're not going anywhere else. You see that? Look at that. That's the equator of my planet. and it is lined with solar panels. See that rail right there? There's a solar panel on every increment of that rail. And as you can see, it sucks that literally goes like that, but who cares? It's still cool. And again, it's annoying that it literally has to go janky. It's just jank. But see that rail? It goes all the way around my planet. And then I collect all of that power and I send it down to my base. My plan is to build a giant-ass battery system at the core of the planet. The entire planet is going to be a machine. I took that trench idea from the Starkiller base from Star Wars Force Awakens. Okay, so just a second ago, I was playing with my friend Kyle. I might end the stream and go play onto his server. But wait, why am I moving this? I don't need to move this. I'm independent of oxygen. Okay, I kept seeing these trees. And they had this like green stuff on it or something. I don't know what these trees do. They just green goop, and I bet you can probably use this tapper on it because I saw that. And look, see how it has those whole holes? Huh. That's actually kind of cool. Okay, so it produces... organic. Yeah, so, by the way, Christian... So you see these like big canisters? It stored 400 nuggets. They added one and it stores 2,000. I've been saying in the game, can we please get an extra large can? And they finally added it. I'm not saying they added it because of me, but I'm saying they finally added it, and I've been wanting one for so long. The other one stores 400 nuggies. This one stores 2,000. And I saw this guy on Reddit who did a calculation, and he said that it would take half an hour to completely fill or empty one of these cans. What happens if it gets done? Is that flower getting smaller? Hold up. I have a question. We need to do some experiments, because here's the thing in Astroneer. There's a big rule that everybody knows. Not I would say everybody, but most people know. Resources in Astroneer are non-renewable. Once a resource is used, there's no way to get it back, unless it's gas. So here's the issue. Or here's the interesting question at hand. Could those create infinite organic? Those organic could be turned into carbon, which through some means that I don't know how to explain currently, could probably be used to the scrapper, and it could maybe be used to, I don't know, say, make infinite resources? Watch this, guys. Oh man, oh, I'm about to miss it. I missed it. So, you know like Starkiller Base has a giant hole down the center? I did that, and I actually only did it in like the first or second stream in this series, which is actually pretty nice. So right over here, you see where it does that circle? That's where my landing spot is. Now it takes a little bit, gotta kind of slow it down there. Same here. So it goes all the way to the outer core. Is that not cool? No kidding. I'm not gonna not believe you. Shorts are genuinely a weird place. I didn't take long to actually build this. Oh boy. There's a hydrazine can on this ship. Hydrazine needs to be dealt with very carefully. If you place it on a furnace, it'll explode. And here's a problem. When you store so much of it close to each other. Oh my god, this is a nightmare. What am I doing? I need to store these explosives. Here's a problem. Some dumbass, all it takes is watch this. Boom, and detonate. You can do it right there. And what if a smart Astroneer player is smart, they can take this gas and spread it around and then detonate the whole base. Okay, so we have a whole ass tree, somehow without any way to photosynthesize, growing down in our base. Okay, so now we have the organic thing growing. Now I need to get an auto arm. Now either we're going to need to find one, or we're going to need to print one. Now, oh actually nice, I have 2 lights on me for some reason. I do not know why. Why can't I turn this on? There it goes. And where can I put this light? I could probably put it right over here. Come on, little light. Plug in. There we go. It does only take like a graphite and an aluminum to make an auto arm, which is not expensive. Is that graphite or graph? Yep, that's graphite, not graphene. That's graphene right there. Okay, so let's take one of these. By the way, I'm not saying I'm not getting into Phantom Forces anymore, but what happens is I'll play games in like these quote-unquote phases where I'll play like one game for like 6 months straight, and I'll bore myself out and I'll go to the next game, but then eventually I'll cycle again. I'm gonna try to play Phantom Forces, but if you have my streams reduced, you know why. I'm very inconsistent. I'm gonna try to get consistency back next year. Okay. So that's done making auto arm. Now I better put this because it's gonna try to grab that QT. And yes, I think I know why it's called QT, because it's, you know, QT RTG, see? It's a cute little thing. QT. QT RTG. I need a medium can, which will take a plastic. That's gonna cost 1 plastic, and do I have an empty one? Oh, there's an empty one right there. I do not have the hoverboard yet, I don't think. I don't. Okay. I know the series was kind of not way too far. Collect and store there. So is this like gonna, you know... I don't see any like leaves disappearing at all. So is this like permanent or something? It says tapped targets. Is there something else I can tap? It's kind of like the auto extractor. Okay, so yeah, this is gonna collect. It just keeps going. I'm gonna search the video. Tappers automation is used to generate organic, leek, and resin pound from various tappable flora. It uses no power. However, if multiple tappers are used in a single flora, they will simply split the output with no increase in production. So, like, it doesn't matter if I have two of them. Like, for example, let's say it produces one organic every single minute. If I put two, then each tapper will produce half an organic every minute. So is it like damn near infinite or something?
In March 2024, System Error released the Verdant update. This is one last midnight. And today, I'm going to go through everything that was in the update and how to use it. The newest addition to Astroneer is an item called the Tapper. The Tapper can be found in your research catalog and can be unlocked with 1,000 bytes. It takes one aluminum to create the Tapper, and the Tapper is created on your backpack printer. If you completed the first 3 missions in the mission logs, which are very simple, you don't even have to leave your base, you'll get the 1,000 bytes needed to unlock the Tapper. The Tapper is placed on special flora, which when hovering over it, it highlights and gives you a tooltip. This flora can be harvested to bring back to your base, or can be used out in the wild where you find it. Placing the Tapper on the floor will start the extraction process, and you're currently extracting organic. Whether this changes in the future or not is unknown, but right now what you get is organic when you tap to specific items that allow you to harvest from it. When the Tapper is completed extracting, you have 1 unit of organic. You can also control the Tapper.
I think I have railways protecting each of the pillars.
On or off, and you shut on and off this green little light, telling you that the Tapper is no longer working. You can then remove the organic. The Tapper will not extract the next set of organic if you have shut it off.
There are 12
So
pathways.
Constantly run and generate.
Imagine my fist, right? My fist is the center of the core. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pillars. And when you draw a line between them all, they're going to draw a pentagon. Now, for example, there's these 5 pillars like that, and there's 5 pillars like that. And where my, right here, like right here, is the core. Where my arms intersect are the core. So these pillars stick out, and that's what these are. Now, there's going to be 5 normal pillars, and then there's going to be 2 core pillars. This is not a core pillar, I can just already tell. The core pillars will not connect. There's a core pillar right there. It might be hard to see. Here, I'll show you. why this is a core pillar, or what I call a core pillar. Because it connects directly to the core, like that. Simple, easy peasy, it's grip mine easy. Then you're gonna get 5. Now, actually before I say this, now, right here, now draw a center line down here. And this is either the Western Hemisphere, Eastern Hemisphere, or Northern Hemisphere, Southern Hemisphere, one of the two, I don't know. This is one hemisphere. That is another hemisphere. Now, there's another core pillar. Now, if you realize, watch this. We got 1, 2, 3. Actually, watch this. I'll use this marble as representation. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. But then when we go to 6, that's not 6, that's 1. So yeah, there are 5 non-connecting pillars on each side, and my plan is connecting them all with pathways and separating these pathways to basically become rooms, giant rooms in the outer core. So these pathways are going to be hopefully where the power is going to go in. One of these pathways are going to serve as the power input to the core battery, and the other one is going to serve as the out. Now, technically, if you really want to be saying this, to a degree, you could say that the power in this game alternates, almost like alternating current. It goes both ways, but there's no single or triple phase bullshit, any of that. It's just power, right? No strings attached. So this is a core. This is a core pillar. I'm gonna mark it with a marker, even though I have way too many beacons in this world.
Organic. But it doesn't just dump it on the ground, it leaves it there for you to pick up. So you'll only get 1 organic at a time. There are 5 new tappable plants in Astroneer, and all of the new plants have these little flowers that are attached to them, making easy to identify when you're out running around. The flume fern can be found in the foresty area on Silva. On the sandy deserts of Calidor, you'll find the cacti plant. In the forest of Visania, you'll find the stretch petal plant. On the grassy, craterous areas of Glacio, you'll find the pickle pod. And on Atrox on the surface, usually next to something dangerous, you'll find the honey pot. Remember that you can harvest all of these plants and bring them home and have them on display at your base. Not only that, they're extremely useful for tapping and getting that organic. Each one of these plants will produce organic at a different rate, Silva being the absolute slowest, and the Atrox plant being the absolute fastest.
Hold my beer.
You can see the difference between the two. Off in the distance is Silva, and the
Jesus.
Atrox plant is just
that is a speed demon.
Organic. Each one of these plants will produce at a different rate. The difficulty of the planet really determines how quick the organic gets produced. While System Error gave us 5 new plants, you don't necessarily have to use the tapper on these specific plants. All hazards in the game are also tappable. So if you feel like being a little bit dangerous and you want to tap those hazards, you absolutely can. This also applies to the hazard seeds that you've dug up from other planets and replanted back at your main base. The rate in which it will produce organic is really based on where the plant originated from. This fractal rose is originated from Silva, where the elegant spew flower is coming from Atrox. So the rates of collection will be the same for Silva and Atrox. Much faster and much slower. Alright, well you've spent the time gathering up the plants and replanting them back at your base, or maybe you got some hazards and replanted them back at your base, but what do you do with all this fantastic organic? The tapper can be unlocked very early in the game, within the first couple missions. And one of the biggest problems of the game is power. So,
Oh,
the
I was
tower is a
just
great
about to
resource
say
for
that.
you to be able to gather
Dude,
power.
all you need to do is take an auto arm, which is basically really cheap, because aluminum, pretty sure aluminum is on it. Yeah, aluminum is on every single planet. Then, all you gotta do is put it connecting to either a furnace, smelt the carbon, and then allow it. Should I make a base? I know, I know I visited. I don't think it even matters. I just gotta find a plant and take one up by the root and dip. I can conquer Atrox, but I don't like to be here for a long.
This setup costs very little. It doesn't take much to get this initial part of this setup configured. It might take you a little bit longer to get enough bytes to get the auto arm, but once you do, you can have a scenario where you're generating power via the small generators, and then have an auto arm automatically feed the organic into some sort of storage, which will then feed the generators. You could also extend this logic out if you happen to have a storage sensor. So in this scenario, we have 2 generators eating up our organic, and we also have a storage sensor to sensing if this is full or not full. Once the organic is completely used up inside of the generators, organic will be taken off of the storage, and new organic will be placed on the auto arms because the auto arms got turned on by the sensor. Once the storage is filled again, the auto arm will turn off, conserving the power that was being used from the auto arm. Remember that I am only using plants that are on Silva, so this is a great scenario for early game Silva to have automatic power generation. You can easily expand out this setup to house any number of generators and collect any amount of organic that you might possibly need. And again, if you want to get a little
Sorry,
more
Blood,
creative,
you're done.
you can have batteries on here where you have power sensors or battery sensors that then turn around, monitor the amount of power that is going into the battery, and only turning on and off these generators and auto arms when you need it. A slightly more advanced concept of the same setup, which uses a different plant. These plants are from Visania, which produce organic slightly faster than the Silva plants. You can have these auto arms taking the organic off, smelting them into carbon, have the auto arm pick up the carbon and put it into the generators. This little setup, if it was an initial brand new, would need to be slightly powered from the beginning. You could use that from your half just to pick up one piece of organic and have it smelted. And once the smelting is complete, you can put the carbon on the auto arm to filter the carbon so that it doesn't steal the organic from the smelters. And then that second piece of carbon will then turn around and feed medium generators. And at that point, this becomes fully self-sufficient and automatically running for infinite power. The medium generators produce 9 units of power, so you can scale this up to any size that you want to scale.
Oh yeah, that's better.
Which would produce
That's
a
much
lot of
faster
power for your
that is.
base. But remember that the medium generator does take tungsten, so you'll need to go off to Calidor or to Solo in order to get the Wolframite so that you can produce the medium generators. If you're lucky enough while you're running around the caves, you can find medium generators laying around occasionally, which will help you start your power production. Now, a slightly more advanced setup would be an automatic research center for plastic. Of course, you can just automatically generate plastic. This is not self-sufficient because we can't get plastic from organic. We need another resource such as compound, but compound's abundant, and if you've gotten to the point where you're using an extractor on compound, then you've got enough compound to choke a horse. In this case, I've got my 2 chemistry labs producing plastic, which are going into storage containers, and then the auto arms are transferring it from the storage containers into the research chamber to research.
The RTG is dead, long live the medium generator.
Well, at least in some.
You know what? Here's the thing, those comments I usually don't agree. I may actually have to admit, this guy might have a point. Medium RTGs, I think, are starting to wane. And you could say, Race, why don't you just, Second. Race, why don't you sell that battery system, why don't you just use RTGs? RTGs are a wonderful power source. You don't need to fuel them, you don't have to maintain them, you just put them on a medium platform, connect them to your grid, and they do perfect. The problem is, they are goddamn expensive. You need 1 nanocarbon alloy, and can I literally coat the entire core with RTGs? Yes! I could almost do any project in this game. However, my only barrier is time. I could do anything I want in this game. I just need time to do it. Time to get the resources, time to process them, and time to build the project. I didn't think I was able to build a solar belt, but I did it, and it's powering my base right now. Also, you know what I actually think? Astroneer, could you do something very simple? Could you please add like a machine where you plug it into your grid, and you can see how many power units are being produced and consumed? Like a power meter? That would be so useful, actually. But honestly, if this organic here is actually infinite, then that means that technically, although there's a few added steps, you could literally just phase out RTGs and go with medium generators. Why would you do that? Look, an RTG unit will produce 4 units of power per second. A medium generator will produce like 9, right? Yep, 9. This thing produces double the power of an RTG. However, the biggest downfall for medium generators is that medium generators need carbon fuel, which, although that's not expensive, carbon is very cheap to make. However, here's the problem. If you run your base on these, you have to constantly keep supplying it, or you have to spend a lot of time to create a big enough supply to last for a while. However, with these brand new taps, that is inconsequential, as right now, all you gotta do is that thing feeds organic. Now this organic can be put onto a mini furnace and then put onto one of these, or they could be put onto a small generator. If you'd use this system, that basically kills the goddamn RTG. Now, the reason I don't use RTGs is that I right now, I could have gotten a bunch. But however, solar arrays produce 14 units of power. With wind turbines, the big boys, they produce 17. Now, remember, RTGs can make 4, which is actually not that strong, but it's better than like the small and medium solar and wind. How could I think the RTG should be changed? I think the RTG should be made to produce, I'd say, like 8 to 10 units of power would be pretty good. Because here's the problem. Again, RTGs are amazing. However, I think we're starting to get old and RTGs are starting to become out of favor. Now, again, the dream is RTGs, right? However, here's a problem. You have to keep hoarding RTGs, and it becomes a problem. Where I'd rather build a wind farm. If I build 10 of these turbines, iron is not that expensive. Ceramic you can easily do. Copper and graphene's not that expensive. Not way too expensive at all. Pretty sure it's like should have it been almost having it be made. Yeah, graphite, which is extremely cheap, and hydrazine, which is also pretty cheap. Wind turbines are pretty cheap. If I erected 10 of these bad boys, I'd be producing 170 units of power a second, provided that the turbines are on. Now, I'm gonna jump tracks here. The RTG has been around for a long time. Now, I'm not, what I would say, a historian on Astroneer, but I have played for a while. I've played ever since, like, way before the automation update. I know I've been playing so long that basically I remember that things wouldn't automatically feed into the furnaces. At the time I played At the time I played Astroneer, when I was in my beginning stages, the RTG was the best source of power, because at that time we had small and medium generators, small to medium, and then XL solar, and then small to medium wind. There was a lot less power sources back in the game. Right now, ever since that, we've added large and extra large wind, large solar, and that's those. I think, in my opinion, the large wind is actually probably what kills it. I'm not saying nerf this, but yeah, that thing produces 17 power units, and it's way cheaper. And the only problem with wind turbines is that on non-windy planets, you may not get enough power. So, yeah. But however, I'd rather do that and then go down here and build batteries to store that energy. Because watch this. Here's where it gets a little bit interesting. A battery will store 512 units of power per... No, 512 units. However, it will discharge 5 units of power a second, 1 power unit higher than the RTG, which means that right now, if I had a battery, like a giant array of batteries at the core, each of them would produce more power than the RTG. However, remember that batteries need to be charged and then they can be used, which is why the RTG comes in, because again, RTG is maintenance-free power. You do not need to do anything with it. It just does its thing. And that's what the RTG does best, is being a maintenance-free device to generate power. But the RTG has an extremely good advantage on places like Atrox, where wind and solar are just simply not viable. They can work, but they're not as efficient as they are on other planets. However, when I just saw something, this guy just says that you can literally create this on Atrox. Yes, Atrox, like, look how fast. Right, let's take this out. Look how fast of that organic is being made. I wouldn't be too afraid to say that one of these plants could easily supply an infinitely generating medium generator. Let's do some experimenting. Okay, for the experiment, we're going to run a carbon generator. Put this bad boy right here. We're gonna need a furnace, a baby furnace. I don't know. Now I know where there's a couple of these guys. So yeah, we're gonna go get this furnace, and we're going to bring it over here. Now furnaces are a little expensive. You can't craft them. You have to trade for them. The only problem about these furnaces is that they are energy inefficient. They actively draw more power than the other unit. Let's do the experiment. Right, let's, can one Atrox plant generate infinite amounts of energy? We're gonna cut this off, and it's basically separated. Oh, that's overpowered. That's good. Yeah. Yeah. Look how fast that's producing. Dun, 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 right? Click, done. 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 Yeah. This is basically... This system is not powered. There is no power from my base being flowed in the system. The system is independently being run. And, well, obviously, here it is. This is better than the RTG. You know, I'm willing to bet you could probably cheat this by putting this arm right here, these furnaces on the other side of that arm, and then you could probably put the generators in the middle. Yeah, you could do that. Let me see that. I gotta check that out. And there we go. Right there. That is dumb. That's broken. Dude. RTGs, Atrox just went from this difficulty to like that. It probably just got halved. Dude. And look at that. If this produces compound, not compound, but organic indefinitely, look at that. It's stopping, and this is producing 18 power units. That's almost enough to power a single atmospheric unit, which is one of the biggest things that people are going to bring. It's the most power consuming item in the game, and a lot of people are going to bring it there, probably on their first mission, to try to get the helium to make nanocarbon. Yeah, but this setup right here, look at that. It costs 3 resin. Now again, the only bad thing about this is that, although not really way too difficult, it's annoying to get medium generators because you have to get tungsten. Tungsten's not a really rare resource, but you just have to go to another plant to go get it, or you can trade for it. This takes 2 tungsten. Two tungsten, 3 aluminum. 2 tungsten, 3 aluminum, 1 graphite, and 3 resin. And that's it. Actually, 4 aluminum. Which these are all resources you can get except for the 2 tungsten. But you're going to need to have one of these, which are a little bit expensive. But if you can get off of Salvia, you can definitely go find one of those. Or you can trade. This is going to be producing 18 power units indefinitely. I can leave this on for literally days, and it's never going to run out. Well, it's going to drop down to probably like 16 power units when it needs to run this little furnace. You could actually alleviate that by putting a single battery. You could actually, well, you can use that battery and have it act as a capacitor. Yeah, you can use a battery and have it act as a capacitor. So it's going to smooth. So now it's going to drop down to a lowest of 17 power units. If you got 2 of these batteries, you can definitely smooth the power dropped by only by 2, making it effectively no power drop at all. Yeah, this literally shits on RTGs. If this is an infinite source of carbon, that is actually insane. Like, there is no effort. You don't have to do shit. You just sit back and watch as this literally makes you power. And again, yeah, that little furnace is going to take a little energy. Better than that. Actually, no, I'm wrong. Take that back. These aren't energy inefficient. They're actually energy efficient. These use 5 energy units to power. Oh, gee, actually, technically, you could probably get away with putting 2 more of those generators, and then you could put them on the one that costs 3 ceramic. That's like the 3. You know what I'm talking about. I got a few of them in my base. Hopefully, I have a few of them in my base. There's one in here, I think. Yep, like one of those right there. This large storage. Oh my gosh, yeah, and you could produce up to like, what, 36 power units, which is actually nuts. Should go find some more ceramic. Okay. Make the ceramic. Medium printer somewhere over here. Can we get away with this? I bet we can. We're gonna drain out all that carbon. Hey, how's it going? We have to jump start it. Jump starting. Bam. Yeah, I heard. Yes, I literally made what's it called? So, may I introduce you to what we call capacitors? Capacitors are little tiny devices you can find on circuit boards. They store energy for a short amount of time, and the moment that the power source is disconnected, they'll discharge very quickly. But here's what my dad used to do. My dad was a little bit of a prankster. He used to pull this prank on his co-workers. He would charge a capacitor up, but the capacitor has these two little prongs on the end. It's a little black cylinder little thing, and it's got two metal prongs at the bottom. Now, if you touch these two, it'll discharge the capacitor. Now, what my dad will do, or he used to do at work years ago, he would charge a capacitor, toss it to his buddies would catch it, and they'd get shocked because of the capacitors discharging into them. Hold on, Chad. I might actually have a bunch of those. I remember when I was a little kid, I used to rip them out of circuit boards all the time. I do not know where they are. Nice. I don't know where they are, but I used to rip the hell out of capacitors. I ripped a lot of capacitors out of electronics, and then I would actually hoard them. So, why am I talking about capacitors? Well, capacitors, what they do is that they kind of supplement a charge. That's kind of what these are doing. When this is cooking, it's going to take 2 power units, right? These 2 batteries, well, there are 4 generators, and these generators, actually wait, how much does this consume? 1 power unit a second? Then I should get 3 batteries, 3 small batteries. Should have one, there's one. So, these 3 batteries, while that auto arm and this furnace run, the 3 batteries would actually fill in for the charge of these machines. So right now this as long as you have organic coming through, it will power and give you 36 units of power. This is a full 100% efficient power output device. Not really scientifically speaking, but you get what I mean. It just produces carbon indefinitely. Dude. Yummy. RTGs? Listen, I'm sorry, RTG. You kinda ain't shit, okay? I'm gonna be honest. 4 power units. By the way, here's the thing. Here's where it gets interesting. You have to go to Atrox to get an RTG. You don't have to go to Atrox to get any... Well, you have to go and get this plant. But the problem is you have to go to Atrox and most likely go back. However, with this machine, all you gotta do is find one plant and set up. Or you can bring other species with you. Look at this. This is 36 power units. Oh, I'm sorry. This is 36 power units. Not stop. That's amazing. This kills the RTG. That's a good sign of efficiency right there. I could probably fit 2 more on this. This can power. And that's just from one plant. 36 power units from one plant. This stupid little plant is better than the RTG. It's better than the wind turbine. Dude. Dude, you know it's weird when you've literally gone from basing your power off of nuclear RTG power to frickin' plants. That is... that is good. Stream your new game. Oh, alright. Add you on Roblox? Oh, I don't think I don't know if I think I friended you. Nice. Oh, yeah, well. This item broke Astroneer, and it shows the tap. Yup, it did. It's broke. It's very brokey. The tap is definitely the most broken item in the game. I mean, literally, something that costs 1 aluminum. Oh, a new game? I've been playing this game for a while. I just haven't played it for a bit. It is so broken.
A few weeks ago, a new update dropped for Astroneer, the Verdant update. And in this update, a new item was released.
Tap.
But what about this new item could be so scary? Well, there are 3 key reasons as to why this item is so scary, and we will have covered all of them by the end of this video.
Solar and wind be gone. Yeah, solar and wind doesn't stand a chance.
When Astroneer was first released in 2016, there were 2 main parts of the game: unlocking items and making sure you had enough power to craft those items. And over the years, nothing has really changed. The player's goal is to leverage these 2 aspects of the game with equal and appropriate measure in order to progress to the next stage. And that's where the tapper comes in. You see, since the beginning, wind and solar have been staples to the power side of the game. They have clear advantages: no required fuel sources. The obvious drawback: they only work sometimes. And that's the way it's meant to be. When you're in the early game, you should have power sources that have clear advantages and clear disadvantages. And wind and solar were obvious choices to create and maintain this healthy balance. But you come and you wreck it all. How in the world do you have them go? Because of you, was the fall. Anyways, what the tapper does is attach to a plant that was planted by the player. It then generates organic infinitely. Now, organic is literally the cheapest natural resource in the game, so this may sound rather slow.
It's everywhere.
Organic has one key use that makes getting infinite of it a little too OP. You see, organic is used to power generators, which can put out a lot of energy, and the tapper is easy to get early game.
Literally
So
needs aluminum.
is that the tapper ruins the entire solar and wind energy thing by allowing you to fully automate around-the-clock generator activity very early on.
There too. Organic scrappage. Oh yeah, I don't know how you could do it, but you could. Guys, I did it. 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 Look. 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 The most OP item in the game. Oh my gosh! I think I just found something. I found a loophole. I may have just actually found a loophole. No way. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Guys. You might be wondering, okay, why is this guy being annoying? Listen, I think I just found it. This. Glow sticks. Oh man, you can't shred them. Oh wait, never mind. There's gotta be something.
The next reason the Tapper is overpowered is because it replaces the usefulness of yet another item in the game. 2 more items, as it turns out. And that's the theme of this video. The Tapper takes a lot of very useful things, and it makes them much less useful by being broken. The next 2 items that take a hit from the Tapper's rampage are the 2 most powerful currencies in the entire game, soil and Astroneer. Now the reason these 2 are so powerful is because in 2 very different ways that I won't cover in this video, they allow us to get scrap, and we can use that scrap to trade for any natural resource in the game using the trade platform. So basically, infinite soil or Astroneer equals infinite of any natural resource in the game we want. How does that relate to the Tapper though? Well, the Tapper actually allows us to get scrap too from the organic it produces. The obvious reason this is broken is because it gives us that organic for free forever. So now the obvious question is, how do we get scrap from organic? Well, there's only one craftable item in the game we can get from organic that we can also scrap, and that item is glow sticks.
Glow sticks?
Are death, but also they can.
Wait, these aren't powered.
Automatically. That's right. If you want to craft glow sticks, you must open your inventory and press this button over and over again. You will periodically also have to wait for your backpack energy to regain before you can craft more. So that is the downfall of this strategy. Yes, the scrap is free, but you cannot automate getting it. Don't get me wrong, this is still brutally overpowered and is almost guaranteed to get patched very soon, but it is much, much
Well, it's been like 4 months ever since it's been added.
Sticks in the small printer like you can with some backpack items, because then you'd be able to scale this to where you're getting however much scrap per minute you want without having to lift a single finger ever again. Instead, you have to put a little bit of elbow grease in, so this was a close call.
When you need a tool that does it all, you need Tostitos.
No kidding, dude. It actually, I'll say, you can, just literally get infinite RTG replacement surgery.
Even the RTG is less powerful now due to the Tapper being broken. Now, why do I say it like that? Well, that's because, in addition to me being autistic, the RTG itself is also overpowered.
I take that as a compliment.
Many in the past have disagreed with me for saying this. They say, world-class jerk, you're stating your opinion as fact. There's nothing objective about the statement that the RTG is overpowered, but they are wrong.
It's not going to generate way too much scrap, but it's technically infinite.
Why the Tapper overshadows even it. The RTG had a similar effect on the game as the Tapper when it first dropped.
If you use the macros, automated macros, you can definitely farm.
The RTG is objectively overpowered, and I'm going to explain why before I explain why the Tapper overshadows even.
And basically, remember, any scrap means any metal in the game.
As the Tapper when it first dropped. We only had generators, wind, solar, and batteries back then to make power with. The RTG was overpowered because it replaced batteries. Batteries are not worth the investment anymore, because by the time you get enough of them to really help out your base, you could have already had RTGs unlocked and crafted. As time went on though, this problem only got worse because higher tiered wind and solar power units came out, meaning we now had late game versions of wind and solar. But wait, oh, yeah. By the time we're in the late game, we won't be using those anyways, because the RTG is here, so it's overpowered. But now even the RTG lives in the shadow of the Tapper. The Tapper replaces the RTG by giving the medium generator a remarkable mate boost. The medium generator has always been sort of a sleeper power unit. People don't really think to use it because it's not useful in the late game, but it's too expensive to craft in the early game.
Exactly.
What people often don't consider is that you
by the time you literally get... By the time you get to the point to crafting a generator, you're already going to move on to something like, I don't know, like a large wind turbine if you really want to be like that person. Which is why basically medium generations are definitely slept on. Medium generators are slept
It's
on.
useful in the early game because it takes carbon as a fuel source, which is smelted organic. You can see where this is going probably, but it uses that as a fuel source. And now for the incredible part. It puts out 9 units of power
Which
per
is
second.
omega good.
I'll give you a moment to meditate on all the information I just laid out.
4 units a second, yep. That one produces 9.
So yes, you can craft the tapper, early game. You can craft auto arms, early game. You can
Yep.
craft the smelter, early game. Another auto arm, early game. You can find a medium generator, early game. Now you basically have an extra long RTG that puts out 2.25 times as much power as an actual RTG. But also, you can stack up more trees at the end here and put a tapper on each tree, then put an equal amount of medium generators on the opposite end to basically multiply the amount of power you get out of this contraption without making it much larger. This is a nasty, nasty thing. It takes out the usefulness of wind and solar entirely. And it takes out the RTG.
I do have to agree with on that one. That kind of sucks at art.
Because the RTG
I'll probably still
is the
construct
best
wind
choice
turbines,
overall if you want
'cause I like
tons
wind
of power
turbines.
in the late game, probably because you probably won't want to set up this extra long contraption over and over again. But this extra long contraption technically is the cheaper way to do it, and it still yields the exact same result in the end, which is self-sustained, fully automated power. Which is a scary thing, to say the least. What have we to fear as a result of this pattern? How might the tapper represent something far darker about Astroneer itself? This item is the start of a new era, one where man fears machine, one where items like the tapper reign supreme above all.
If you scrap 2 medium buggy horns and then with that scrap you purchase resin and compound combined with the organic carbon needed to make rubber and plastic, you can make a new medium buggy horn, and that left with 1 net extra scrap. Build a machine to do this, and the manual process required to feed medium buggy horns into the shredder, because auto arms won't pick up anything that big. And it is infinite if you must scale it way up. Scrap making machine with no input. Nice. Yeah, I might need a bit, it's kind of gets complex down here. I might need to go and take these. I might actually go, start getting rid of these beacons. Look, there's one medium generator sitting right there. There you go, get it and do whatever you want. Wait, there might be a tunnel down here. Sorry if it takes me a while. I'll be right back. I might call my friend. Actually, call in a bit. 10 massive early game mistakes. Although I consider myself a noob, I would definitely want to hear these because I'd like to see raise on.
There is for certainty an incredibly wide variety of ways to play Astroneer. However, in the early game, that's not so much the case, and as such, deviating from a more efficient playstyle can be detrimental to the overall pacing of your progression in the long run. Therefore, you should seek out wisdom from those among us who specialize in being epic. Therefore, as such, I hereby present to you 10 massive early game mistakes in Astroneer. Our first early game mistake in Astroneer is going to be using research items to get bytes instead of research samples. Now, what is a research item versus a research sample? Well, here on the left, these things are research items, and here on the right, these are research samples. You probably know both of these, but you probably did not know that they were called different things, so now you do. Now, the obvious difference between these is that with the research samples, we hold F and we get a few bytes, and with the research items, we have to research them in the research chamber, but we end up getting more bytes. However, you should not be using the research items, even though they give
I never use those
you
things.
should instead be using the research sample. But why is that? What makes the research item
Because it
worse
sucks
than the research
power all the
sample?
time.
Well, as previously mentioned, we need a research chamber. Now, that might not sound like a big deal, but the thing about research chambers is that you need to constantly give them power the entire time they're on, and that will be 5 minutes for this if you have it at full power, which maybe you won't in the early game. It is really annoying to generate power for 5 minutes straight in the early game, as opposed to using the research samples, because you only need 10 research samples in order to get the same amount of bytes that you would get from a single research item. Now, 10 research samples, that might sound like a lot until you realize that these things are literally all over the caves, and what's more important about these things is that they actually regenerate over time.
Exactly.
It only takes like 30 minutes or something like that.
Put double
So they
proximity
regenerate pretty quickly.
machines
They
next
just
to it,
respawn
or a
right back at the
looping
exact
proximity
same location.
device,
Which
and it literally
one
generates
research
infinite
samples,
bytes.
Which is that they can be fully automatically gathered when they respawn, because they respawn in the same position every single time. Our second early game mistake in Astroneer is not blasting off soon enough, because yes, leaving the planet as soon as you can is actually a really good idea for 2 reasons. The first reason being resources. As you can see, we are here on Glacio, and Glacio gives us access to iron and titanium, and as you can see with iron, this place is absolutely incredible. There's iron everywhere on the surface of Glacio, so if you want iron, this is easily the place to go. And titanium, which is not on the surface, it's in caves, is really good at Glacio too. So Glacio, not just for resources, but for bytes, is absolutely the first place I recommend you go. But yes, that is the second reason, is research. That is the other reason you want to go to Glacio. And actually, it's for the same reasons. It actually loops back to the first mistake we had, because good old-fashioned research samples instead of research items are actually what you want to get on Glacio in the early game as well.
Yeah.
Because these things are actually 6 times better than on the home planet. So as you can see here, if I research this, it'll give me 333 bytes. Now, it ranges like around 350 bytes for each of these. So they're like 6 or 7
Yeah,
times
yeah, look
better
at
than
even
ones
these right
on
there,
the home
500,
planet,
that's 1,000
even though they're the
bytes.
same thing. All you gotta do is hold F, and they will regenerate, and they will respawn. Our third early game mistake in Astroneer is going to be not using the medium generator. Now, I know what you're thinking. World-class jerk, you fool! Medium generator is not an early game item. It takes 2,000 bytes to unlock and a tungsten to craft, meaning I have to leave the planet
Find
to
one.
get what I need in order to craft it. That's not early game at all, except it is, because you can can get a medium generator in the first layer of caves. You can just find one already together and working, so you don't have to craft it or unlock it. You can just find it in the caves, and then you bring it up here, and you have 9 units to power a second for nothing but a carbon as fuel. Which brings me to my next point, because you're obviously now probably thinking, why don't I just use solar or wind? Well, you can use solar and wind, but you can also use this with those, because there are times when the wind isn't blowing and it's nighttime, which means you don't have power. You just gotta sit there and wait. We've all been there, and we've all hated it, and we've all been really sad because of it. Our 4th early game mistake in Astroneer is going to be not gathering items in bulk. Now, that may seem pretty self-explanatory and simple.
Yeah, I can relate to
is,
that.
but it's still more useful than you may think. Because let's say, for example, I need 3 compound in order to craft something. If I go to a compound vein and I only gather 3 and go back to base, I'm going to need more compound soon, because you always need compound. It's a very common crafting recipe. So if you only gather what you need, you're going to be going back and forth between veins a ton and walking a lot, which is something you can avoid by simply gathering more while you're standing over the top of it and getting a stockpile. As you can see here, I'm on a new save, and I have a ton of compound and a ton of resin, and I got all of this in about like 5 minutes, which really isn't that long, obviously, to get this much. So if I was actually going to progress with this save, I wouldn't need any more of this at all, ever, until I got a soil centrifuge. So if you don't gather items in bulk, you're going to be wasting a lot of time, so don't do that. Don't waste a lot of time. Wasting a lot of time is stupid. And you're not stupid, because, well, I mean, maybe you are, but I would hope not. So just don't gather items in small amounts, because it's a waste of your time. And that's what it is. Our 5th early game mistake in Astroneer is, as you can see, I'm on a new save here. I don't know why I interrupted myself. Anyways, is neglecting these starter missions. And as you can see here, I'm on a new save
gotta get
again.
those starter
And
missions.
so I wanted to show you that there are starter missions here. We all probably know that. But some of you may think, oh, well, why would I waste my time with this when I could just not do that? And that's because it gives you bites. And as I've said before, bites are the main idea of the early game. The most important thing at first is getting bites, because you want to be able to unlock stuff that allows you to get more bites, basically. So you want bites very importantly in the early game, and this gives you a lot of bites for the amount of time it takes in the early game. It's a very worthwhile investment to do these missions, and even in the late game, missions are kind of important, but specifically in the early game for the reason of bites, you should do these first couple of ones because they are indeed good. And so that's what you should do. I have nothing left to say. I kind of ramble sometimes. I apologize. Our 6th early game mistake in Astroneer is going to be not using the wide and boost mods. Now, if you're the type of person who doesn't use these, just quit being like that, okay?
No
because not
kidding.
using these things should be
Wide and boost. I haven't even watched this guy. See that boost? Why? Oh my gosh. It consumes a lot of power? Yes, it does, but oh my gosh, that's so nice.
Increasing the speed at which we mine it. That's pretty self-explanatory. It makes us gather ore veins quicker, and everything we do with the drill is just quicker. However, the most important thing that it speeds up is our soil gathering speed, which basically makes the already overpowered soil centrifuge even more overpowered. It's an incredible device, these things. But one thing I will mention about these is that their bite cost, as far as the early game is concerned, is arguably kind of expensive, so you may want to refrain from unlocking them until after you blast off. You go to Glacial, where getting bites is easy, because at first you want to save all your bites for a shuttle, IMO, which means, in my opinion, you already knew that. I need to shut up sometimes. Our 7th early game mistake in Astroneer is going to be neglecting the overpowered nature of the soil centrifuge. Now, I will say, most of you probably do use it.
If you're not using it, use it.
It is a pretty powerful device. However, if you do not, you really do need to know that it is incredible. For things like organic, that you cannot really get a whole lot of without it being further and further out. Actually, everything gets further and further out the more of it you gather. There are things in here, like graphite, that you just don't find out in the wild very much, and that it's not hard to get if you just gather soil canisters. So it is definitely good to gather this, because it gives you every single early game item you would need, except for aluminum, unless you count copper as an early game item. If that's something you gather a lot of in the early game, then that's another thing it doesn't get. But I only need aluminum, other than the items in here, so the soil centrifuge is particularly swell to possess in the early game, and that's why you should never neglect it, because it is very overpowered on its own. And once you get the wide and boost mods, it's even more overpowered. Once you get the truck and drill, it is so overpowered that it's unrighteous. And once you automatically turn, especially
when you're making roads, you can use the byproduct of dirt just to build all your, like, you know, your... You can use all that byproduct of dirt to actually centrifuge it and get resources.
Our 8th early game mistake in Astroneer is going to be not bringing aluminum so that you can make a soil centrifuge whenever you go to another planet.
Or using the aluminum for a booster thrust if you have solid.
Everything you need in order to craft a platform and put a soil centrifuge on it. And the reason you need to do that is because even though resin is common on the home planet, it's not necessarily common on the planets you'll be going to. They have to make resin and compound common on the home planet, because that is what you need in order to make base stuff, and they can't just start you out where you can't progress the game. However, when you go to another planet, sometimes resin and compound just isn't anywhere to be seen. As you can see here, I'm on Glacio, and I did not select the spot because I can't see resin and compound. That's just how it works. You can't see those as much on other planets sometimes, so you'll just kind of be stuck if you don't have a soil centrifuge. But as long as you do have a soil centrifuge, you can make resin and compound, and the reason resin and compound are specifically special is because those are all you need to expand the base and expand your reach by tethers. So if you can make compound in a soil centrifuge, you can go further out to get other stuff you need. And if you can make resin, you can make platforms. So the soil centrifuge will provide both of those for you because the soil around you will be the resources that may not otherwise exist for you, and those are necessary resources. You are welcome. Our 9th early game mistake in Astroneer is going to be using the medium wind and solars in the early game instead of the smalls. Now, I know what you're thinking. World-class jerk.
Okay, yes, I know exactly where he's going. Here's a pro tip, guys. Don't craft these, okay? Do not craft the medium winds. Here's why, right? 5 units of power, 1 aluminum, 1 ceramic, which is not that bad, but it can be a little bit annoying to get in the early game. Craft these bad boys right here. 1.5 power units with 1 ceramic. Why, Barney, why the hell would you do that, right? Well, if you're able to actually get on a medium... Actually, if you take scrap early game, somehow if you can get scrap, or you're gonna want to try to get titanium. I know this is not an early game item, but if you have something even like this right here, you can have 8 turbines, which produce, let's see, 3. That produces 12 power in the place of 1 that would produce.
Not using the smalls because they are the best. Well, actually, that's not what this is about at all, because the small solar is actually
versus the 5. You can produce 12 versus 5.
Out given what it costs. So this is actually a completely different conversation entirely, because the medium solar is better than the small for what it costs, but I still recommend that you use the small because, as I said before, bytes are really important, and it's not worth the little extra amount of solar you're going to be getting for the cost of bytes it takes to unlock this thing in the early game. So I recommend that you wait until like the mid-game to unlock the medium solar if you want a better solar. As for the wind, yes, the small is literally just better for how much it costs and how much it puts out. So never use the medium wind turbine at all. This thing is not worth your time. Always use the small wind. But with the solar, yes, medium is better, but do not unlock it at the very start because it's just not worth the cost right off the bat. Our 10th early game mistake in Astroneer is one that you're probably going to be pretty disappointed in because it's as simple as me saying you should bring a beacon to other planets when you go to them. Now, I know this sounds ridiculous, like really world-class jerk. You're going to take up a whole entire spot on this list just to tell me to bring a beacon to another planet? Well, yes, because I do consider this to be specifically an early game mistake for one simple fact. You are using a solid fuel thruster in the early game. You cannot afford to land in the wrong spot, okay? Every single one of us has said, I don't want to make a beacon, it's not worth my time, I'll just remember where I landed. But you're wrong. You won't remember sometimes, because we all forget sometimes, no matter how confident we are in our memory, we land at the wrong spots, and then we wasted a solid fuel thruster, which is aggravating in the early game. So literally just bring a beacon, it's a single quartz, and it's not hard to do, and that's this one. But wait, guys, I'm pretty sure there's actually an extra early game mistake in Astroneer, even though I said there was only 10. And that mistake would be not subscribing to this channel so you can get more videos like this in order to learn how to play Astroneer. Yes, if you come back to this channel, you will learn so much.
50 tips and tricks in Astroneer. Yeah, let's see this.
Knows that knowledge is power, and that with great power comes great responsibility. Therefore, it is
so this, that little green dot should be on the right of these rails. So it is.
I've decided to bestow a great deal of my Astroneer wisdom to you, the viewer, in just one video. Stick around until the end, and you won't regret it, for you will have learned 50 tips and tricks in Astroneer. So without further ado, let's jump straight into this with the first tip. Kicking it off here with our first tip and trick in Astroneer is that on Glacio there are very overpowered research samples inside these. Now, there are 3 different kinds of this, but this particular one that has the symbol on it wants you to put an ammonium on it, and when it opens up, it will give you this right here, and this gives you 7,000 bytes when you research
I remember
it,
this.
which is
They
really
had a lot of
pretty
Astronium in it.
overpowered. For our second tip in Astroneer, I recommend that even if you don't want to build a proper, like, true flat structure at a true flat location, that you at least go to a true flat location to build a normal base, because then you can have actually flat ground. Now, if you don't know anything about what I'm talking about here, if you don't know what a true flat location is, or a true flat base, or any of that stuff, then I have a video about that I will link in the description and right up there at the top right, because I do not want to explain that here, because I want this video to be less than 6 hours long. For our next one, we can automatically turn our soil into scrap by making the soil centrifuge automatically make resin, then by making...
Oh, no problem. Okay. Don't beat yourself up if you miss a stream. It's okay. I'm sorry for taking that break. I've been busy. By the way, guys, I'm just gonna warn you ahead of time. I know it sucks, but expect me to take breaks when I do streaming. That's not because I want to, that's because I usually have to do homework in college. But do know that I'm trying my best.
Into small canisters, and then by scrapping those small canisters. This is really overpowered because basically what you're allowing yourself to do is trade soil on the trade platform, and as we all know, the trade platform has access to some pretty powerful stuff. This next one is basically only useful in the early game, as by the late game you will have better options, but yes, in the early game,
I'm out of hydrogen. Or damn, you're almost out.
Fully functioning medium generators, which put out 9 units of power a second for a single carbon, and this can be pretty helpful
not really.
in a game where all you have is a few small solars.
I'm very picky.
Small winds, if you do want that extra power, so you can come down here and find those. Our next tip involves research, and that is that these research items are actually not as fast as these research samples for getting...
Yeah, who the hell uses those?
You get a bunch of research samples, that is faster than doing research items. However, if you do both at the same time, that is obviously best. So I recommend doing both at the same time, unless you just want to do research samples, which also works pretty good. Storing small wind turbines on a large storage silo beam like this costs way less than an XL, produces way more power than an XL, and it takes up way less space than an XL, so there's no reason to use the extra large wind turbine instead of small ones.
Unless you like the commodity extra large. I do.
For our next one, I recommend that you stay away from Calidor, Vesavia, and Novus in the early game, because they do not provide anything that you need in the early game that other planets don't provide better. In fact, you can actually get every item in the game without ever going to these planets, but that doesn't mean they are bad, because they do provide some late game resources in larger amounts than you would be able to get them otherwise. So I do recommend going to them in the late game for said resources, but in the early game, you don't want to get those resources in such large amounts, because that wastes the blast off for no reason. So in the early game, steer clear of these planets. Our next early game tip/trick in Astroneer is that you can find dynamite on debris just like this, which is useful because in the early game, you cannot craft dynamite, but you still need it because you have to get exo chips from exo caches.
Or you just take Astronium and trade it.
Scrap in the trading platform, but if you press the up and down arrow keys, you will see that there are actually two other currencies, that being Astronium and the Fault Finder, which I still don't know what the Fault Finder is, and I don't know how to get it, but that's there too, so you can use both of those to trade the trading platform along with scrap, in case you didn't know that. If you want to build a true flat base, you should consider putting said base right on top of the gateways instead of nearby to the gateways, because this will give you more room to build, and also it's just epic. I mean, look at this view. This is a proper sky base, and it makes sense too because it's sitting on a gateway instead of just floating like magic. So, pretty cool base idea. You should definitely try it. Well, the next one's sort of similar to the last one. The gateways get in your way when you're trying to build a base, so you can build on top of it, but also
it's a coffee. I thought it was a
gateways floating, so you can just build straight under.
Barbecue.
As you can see, I've done both on this one. But yes, you can build under the gateways if they're floating, and the way you get a floating gateway is just by creating a save, seeing if your gateway.
Interesting. I don't drink coffee, but if I had to drink one, it'd be Mocha Macchiato. It's like one of the only coffees I've really ever drank. Leap. What coat? Stop! Let me go! I don't really like coffee that much. I don't hate it. Not a bad drink. At least it smells better than something like frickin' beer. I don't drink beer, just letting you know. I cannot stand the smell of alcohol. That shit smells awful. I'm sorry for people who drink, but that's just my opinion. It smells so bad. Dude, yeah. One of my friends has this dad who drinks beer, and it just straight up smells just horrible. It smells. Dude, gas. Okay, I don't purposely smell gas, but at least gas smells somewhat better than frickin' beer. It smells awful. If you want to jump off your bed, just don't hurt yourself, man. Oh, by the way, let's go. By the way, Oreo Cat, you know how I've been talking about coin machine lately? Look at this, we got it. We got the machine. Look how cool that thing is. It is my new friend. I'm gonna show it off for a second. Give me a second. What cord plugs in? Okay, there it is. No, please don't jump off a bridge. It wouldn't be that good. Don't do it. You would go splat, and yeah, I like you better alive than splatted on the ground. Oh man, just one batch, guys, don't worry. Why what? This machine? This bad boy pulls about 4 amps. It's basically almost this. My other one pulls like 0.3 amps, but this one pulls 4, which is almost like a fridge. In this cup, we have a bunch of nickels. So this is about 16 bucks of nickels. That was $14.60 of nickels, or 292 coins. Nah, please don't jump off your balcony. I do not recommend that. But this thing just absolutely destroys. Here's the nickels. They ended up in this little cup. This machine, unlike my other one, I could absolutely guzzle coins. You know what? What happens when you insert an Indonesian coin to the coin power machine? Where will it pop out? It'll Okay. Chat. So this is for my little viewer. Let's see. So this is Indonesian money. It is 5 rupiah. Where will it come out? It probably came out as a quarter. Yep, look. Came out as a quarter. See it? Here, watch. Actually, this is the quarter slot. If I actually aim the camera down, look. There goes the rupiah coin. There it goes. Now this, right here, what I just demonstrated is a problem with American coin counting machines. Is that foreign coins will actually just end up going right through. Thanks, by the way. This machine cannot tell between United States and non-United States currency. It thinks the 5 rupiah coin is actually a quarter. So therefore, it's going to count it as a quarter. This, I'm actually well aware of before I bought this machine, because if you don't know, I sort coin bags. These ginormous bags of coins. And I'd find euros. I don't think it'd work with your currency. You're going to want to buy something called a Rabao HCS25. Although it does jam, you can actually use it for almost any currency in the world. It works mostly good with Canadian currency or United States currency. But honestly, if you know how wide in millimeters your coins are in your country, you can adjust the machine. Good luck getting it out of my basement. That thing is 110, 125 pounds. It is a heavy machine. The MSRP of that machine is $7 grand, but I only got it for about $650. No, you can't. You can put dollar coins in it. I bet it probably wouldn't feed a British penny. I don't think it will feed a British. Actually, it'll probably come out as a $50. Yup, it did. It came out as a $50. You know your pennies are so big, when I put it into a United States coin counting machine... Why? Can't you rent it? It's mine. So yeah, a British penny, a giant penny, will come out as a $50. A US $50. You know what I'm gonna do? It won't really damage the machine unless there's a dollar bigger than a $50. I'm gonna get everyone buy foreign coins smaller than a $50 and dump it in the machine and actually find out where it lands. Guys, like and sub for that video. If one of my future video ideas is dumping foreign coins into a United States machine. Well, because it won't count. It won't work. It only works with physical coins. However, that machine's called a jet sort. There is a machine called a jet scan. That will sort money. And it's so good that jet scan, if I put ones into it and I select $1, right? Well, guess what, guys? If it detects anything other than a $1 bill, it's gonna stop that machine. Meaning that the jet scan is good because, again, yeah, you're sorting $20 bills, and if it detects a $1 bill or anything other than a 20, when it's on the $20 bill counting mode, it's gonna stop the machine. Therefore, you can pull it out and keep going. No, thank you. Again, yeah, that's my 5 rupiah. Just stuck in there. It came from the St. Louis Reserve Bank. One of the most secure buildings in the entire country. That building that I got those coins in, it moves 10. Because I like my coins. You like your coins, don't you? You're a collector. You wouldn't want me to shred yours. Although Americans do kind of participate in melting coins. Not like every American does. There's some people. I don't. I don't like destroying art. But I'd be lying if I said I don't know how you'd be able to get it. You know, honestly, if we ever met, which I doubt that would happen, I would definitely not mind giving you some United States cents. We have 550 billion of them we've made in the United States history. Let that sink in. There's almost more than a trillion, or I'm so stupid. More than half a trillion United States pennies ever manufactured. That's an extreme number. Technically, If you take all the art pieces, I actually have Chinese coins. I don't know how, I'm sorry but no, but the reason is I don't even know how I'd be able to get it. Wait, an Indonesia coin for an Indonesian coin? The heck? Oh, are you talking about British penny? Actually, what I did is I went and bought a grab bag of money from my local antique shop, and I have that bag somewhere. Where is it? Yep, a giant Ziploc baggie, and it's full of foreign coins. I only got it for 60 bucks. Not bad, actually. You can see all types of coins. You'll see square coins, hold coins, bimetallic coins. Yeah, look, there's even some with holes in them. And whatever the hell that flowery looking coin is. See how it has ridges? No, my parents aren't asleep. They're actually up. They don't mind me. I mean, technically, as long as a coin is the same or less thickness and width of a United States half dollar, it'll go through. When we meet, I don't know if that'll happen. For example, from your country, this is actually a very light coin. Smells metallic. What the hell? Is this aluminum? I don't know. Is this aluminum? Are these... What are Indonesian coins made out of? This is a very lightweight coin. How much does it weigh? Come on, wait. Why is my scale being... It only weighs 1.4 grams. A dime, which is our lightest coin that the United States manufactures. Let's see, a dime weighs... What was it, 2.2 gram? 2.25 grams. I actually got it right. Because I know silver dimes weighs 2.5 grams. You want to hear it? This is the difference. I'll actually show you. How is it lighter? I don't know. It's probably aluminum. How is the dime heavier? Because it's made of copper. Copper's heavy. So, chat, this is the sound of a normal dime. This is a silver dime. Hear that difference? Normal, silver. Silver coins will ping with this little light. Oh, I don't want Chinese coins. I already got Chinese coins. I got a ton of them in that bag right there. Chinese coins galore. Some old ass looking Chinese coins. I don't know what they are. Is that a rupiah? I definitely don't doubt that there's Indonesia money in here. What is it? No, I think that's South Korean. I don't know if we can ever trade. There's some weird looking coins in here. They're cool though. That's such a cool idea, putting holes in the middle of coins. Because you could take a string and you could loop it right through your coins and you'd keep them on you. Not really. Well, actually, it really depends. If it's that stinking eating ASMR, I can't. That's disgusting. Like, I have pretty good patience for disgusting shit. But food ASMR, like chewing, come on. Gross. Just nasty, nasty. Like, gun ASMR is pretty cool, like how you can hear the mechanical parts. But that's my limit. And if you like it, I don't blame you. Yeah, the guns. I love messing with my real-life guns. The mechanical sounds they make are so cool. That's why I have such a love for, like, bolt actions, lever actions. You have to mechanically wield them. Anyway, I'll be right back. I'm gonna mute. I'm gonna call my friend, see if he's able to get on Astroneer. I'm sorry, but I'm not going to answer that question for safety reasons. Because where I live is a very, like, anti-gun state. And I just don't want to draw attention. That's nanocarbon. Oh my. Because some of the guns I have, yeah, I'm sorry, I'm just for safety reasons. Don't think I'll be able to say that. I will say I do have a lever action and a pump action. That's all I'll say. Maybe I'll get more detailed. Maybe I'll show off my guns. I don't know. It's not like if I say it, they're gonna raid me immediately. But I like to not take chances because the state. I do own a shotgun. I'll say that. I own a shotgun. No, I don't have a Sten gun. I'm not a British person, unfortunately. I have to get a quest to unlock the extra large container. Look at this chunker. This is a big ass container. No, oh no, Uzi. Hell no. That's illegal in my state. That's illegal in the country. No, we don't have Glocks. We don't really have, like, fun guns at all. The extra large resource canister can be obtained during the alert new schematic available mission. Well, it's not really that secure if I'm saying it online. Is this fandom? This is fandom Wikipedia. I hate fandom sometimes. It's such a good tool. It's how I got good at the games I played. But it's so annoying. I can't imagine how bad it must be. Or how much better it must be with... Hold on, Dude, this stupid friggin' chain of missions. I can't read that. So I need to complete something called Alert New Schematic Available Mission. You can find 2 extra resource canisters. These extra large resource canisters can be found on Caldor fissures. You could find them? No. I don't know if I'll find it on my planet, because... Oh gosh. So yeah, but I bet you we're gonna have to do something to trigger alert new schematics available. I hate when it zooms in and it reloads the page. That is annoying. I don't know. I'm sorry, man. This is probably an old chain. I don't know how to play that. I don't know. Okay, see you later, my friend. My goodness, where is this mission? This here. That down there. I'll watch a video.
Sagi, the sail from Desolo, a truly large expansion coming later this year. If you have completed the G Desolo verification mission, which is the one in which Usagi, the
Yeah.
sail from Desolo,
Well, not my
is
own house.
in the Xenobiology lab, then you will receive a new mission alert. That new mission is an alert signaling that there are new structures detected. Since this new structure spawned right in the middle of my main base, it wasn't difficult for me to locate it. But if you didn't happen to load into your save right next to it, then check out the mission log for more information. It's fairly straightforward. You simply need to locate the installed platform at Glacio's North Pole. There is an optional mission objective to defeat Usagi and utilize her ability to help you locate points of interest. To be honest, you can skip that second objective because if you head to the North Pole of Glacio, it will be rather hard to miss this new structure. If you're thinking, hey, cool new platform in addition to the new massive storage canister,
New platform.
Yeah, sort of. As far
That's
as I can
so
tell, the platform has no name and it cannot be created. Further, it is unmovable. I tried digging it up, packaging it, and even winching it, and it just does not budge. So yeah, it is absolutely a cool new platform, but you will have to build around its location instead of choosing where it goes. On that platform is what people will probably be the most interested in. The extra large resource canister. This thing can store a whopping 2 2,000 nuggets of a single resource. I
That
haven't
is
yet
nuts.
tested exactly how long it would take to fill or
It's like half an
empty
hour,
this
isn't it?
beast, but I would suspect it is going to take a while. You can begin using that extra large resource canister as soon as you find it, or you can package it and move it to a more convenient location. Just be aware that since it is an extra large item, you will be limited in your choices for platform. Exactly how long it would take to fill is unmovable. I tried digging it up, packaging it, and even winching it, and it just doesn't.
Yeah, I saw one. I actually saw one, and because what's it called? I saw one because I was doing the, I saw one because I was spawning one in on creative. Oh, shut up, Yukon. Stop being a baby. No, my dog, I have a... That was almost a suicide right there. If that hydrogen were to go into this furnace, it explodes and kills me. Well, preferably I'd like you to not. Okay, so he said go to North Pole. Yeah, preferably not. So does these boxes make Geiger counter noises? No. It was the other one. Yeah, that's why I'm not giving anybody my number. I don't want spam. Why? Because I don't want to dox myself. I do not want to dox myself. Sleep? I put my phone in sleep mode? Here it is. Oh my gosh. Look at that big old baby. Look. Look at the size of it. Damn. Man, come to Papa. Dude, look at the size of it. What is that? Data circuit model A. I want to fix the sim as much as the next guy. But unpaid overtime ain't part of a healthy work-life balance. Yeah, no, I'm sorry. I will be taking this. Thank you very much. Dude, look how huge this tank is. I have to have this tank. Dude, I have a few large ones, but dude, 400. You could store 400 nuggets in a large can. You could store 2,000 in this one. This is the best storage unit in the game. Yeah. Nah, no, because I don't like doxing myself. Must be a piece of hydrogen or something blocking. I don't want to dox myself. Can I not put this on? Huh? Oh. You see my chat. I think I made a mistake. I need a packing unit. I need a packer. Yes! There's graphite right. That's some dream SMP luck, man. There's graphite right here. Okay, there we go. That's the only bad thing, I guess, about it, is that you can't really put it on the rocket ship, apparently. Did I say apparently twice? That was 3 times, technically. Boink. There we go, let's bring this big boy home. Right. Same here.
So yeah, it is absolutely a cool new platform, but you will have to build around its location instead of choosing where it goes. On that platform is what people will probably be the most interested in. The extra large resource canister. This thing can store a whopping 2,000 nuggets of a single resource. I haven't yet tested exactly how long it would take to fill or empty this beast, but I would suspect it is going to take a while. You can begin using that extra large resource canister as soon as
what the hell is that? Do you see that? There's something over there. There's like a train station. I've never seen that before on my planet. I've circulated so many times, and I've never seen that. Oh, there's that pole. Then is there green? Okay, so there's... That green is where that pillar is. So that... I'm gonna go over there. Alright. Oh, it's pitch black now. It's gonna start getting... We're losing daylight. You haven't had this thing? I don't have my actual Rubik's Cube, but I have this. I have this. See it? Oh, and I dropped it like a dumbass. Got it from Kalahari Resort. Oh, and there you go. Okay, big girl. Meet your brand new home. Oh my gosh. Look how big this thing is. Dude, this is so cool. Look at this. That is huge. Don't think I could. Two resin, two iron. Iron. I got resin. Here. Boo! There's my mutt. Yeah, don't recommend doing that, by the way. Just saying. Crap, we're dried. Donk. Yeah, because, well, in most civilized areas of the world, we do not look kindly to cannibalism. Generally not a really good idea. Even self-cannibalism is definitely not recommended. You're gonna eat your fingers, that's why we humans are a superior species to literally any other species. I'm gonna store, hello. Now get up. Now get out of my sight. Good boy. Woo, 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 woo. I love my doggies. Oh, nope, not that one. That one. Bananas? What do you mean bananas? Those? That's not bananas, that's resin. Okay, we're gonna need to give you... Look at this size. Okay, by the way, let me give you a pair of representation. This is the large canister, which for a very long time we've been used to. This is basically a standard. Look at the large can next to the extra large can. That is a mammoth of a tank. It's so big that my base looks pretty good. Thank you, because it looks like, I don't know, it looks like you held a bunch of resources and then they exploded. Trust me, my base could be better, but I play the game so fast, I don't have time to sort stuff around. I gotta keep going. I do what the clock does, which is keep going. Well, until the damn thing runs out of batteries, that is. Why is this thing in a plant? I don't know, that's probably one of the event items I had. Thanks, dude.
You can package it and move it to a more convenient location. Just be aware that since it is an extra large item, you will be limited in your choices for platforms that accommodate such a big item. That unnamed platform will also contain some debris and, at least in the several saves I checked, a medium printer. The platform contains a few ramps around its perimeter and a total of 6 power cable plugs. It will also have one of the data circuits that you will need to unlock the schematic to print the extra large resource canister. Once you have found this new structure, you can claim your mission rewards of 3 mutant hispine seeds, which will come in handy if you plan on utilizing Usagi for the other 2 missions that were added with this update. The first mission will appear notifying you that an additional schematic is available and requires that you collect each of the 5 variants of the data circuit Model A. This is not a new item. We have seen them before as rewards in the previous 2 limited time events. There was a lot of speculation as to what these might be used for, and now we know. The A set will unlock the schematic for the extra large resource canister. If you already have a complete set of these data circuits, you simply need to pick up each one to collect it and satisfy the requirements for this mission. You do not need to do anything special with them beyond that. I picked them up and put them right back down in their storage. If you have not collected them in previous limited time events, you are not out of luck. The mission guides you to various biomes on 5 different planets. This is where Usagi can be helpful. If you feed her a seed, she can help you find various points of interest. These typically appear on the compass as a blue Usagi icon, but the data circuits and the large platforms will appear in a different color, helping you differentiate between other points of interest and the data circuits.
Doggy. I love golden retrievers. They're so cute. They're so sweet. Yeah, I saw that. That guy is something I think what I just saw. There is a rail that has another ammonium cart on it. I need to drain that. Dude, if I have 2,000 ammonium as astronium as storage, but saying not ammonium, astronium, that is gonna be pretty insane. I think I just reset my printer making time. Did I? Nope, I didn't. Where am I gonna put this thing? I mean, this is a big container. Or so what? Oh yeah, my eyes are very blue. I like red. Red's my favorite color. Okay, so if I'm not wrong, if I click right, yep, they go up there. Go up the elevator. Yeah, I made this elevator right here, and it basically it elevates. What do you expect it to do? I don't know why I'm trying to explain how an elevator works. No. See, you definitely know what the equator of a planet is. See that? Look how the planets are going over. See? That's because I'm on the equator of this planet. These rails, this railway goes all the way around the planet. And you see those little black square things? Those are solar panels. And yes, you know exactly where this is going. There are solar panels strewn all about the planet. I am so proud of myself for building such a complex machine system. Let me just look at all those solar panels. Because they're on the equator, I collect sun no matter what. Thanks. I'm very proud of myself for doing this. I didn't think I'd be able to do something. I mean, it is Novus, so it's gonna be smaller, but still, this solar belt is what I call it. Produces roughly 1,000 power units. Oh yeah, I do. You could say I could use a new tapper system. I like this system. Enough coin vids, thumbnails. What? Is there a funny thing? Even though I'm on the PS4 client running this on the PS5, this is actually not running. Yeah, tower at the... I like that idea, but I just would rather have this, because again, it is cooler. To a point. Wait, what? Seriously? I have to see it. Yeah, I don't have control over my thumbnails currently. I look like someone pissed in my suit. Just... Why is it... What? That was probably captured within like a screenshot, whatever, you know. That's copper, I think. I don't think that's not copper. Yeah, right there. You see that hole right there? This hole goes in, and you want to be careful because you don't want to accidentally slip in. Just kidding. I got a jetpack. That's my base down there. I can launch rockets in and out, just like that one, kind of like the gun tube, but not. It doesn't shoot lasers, but rockets. Kind of like the gun tube from Starkiller Base from Star Wars: Force Awakens. I like the sound that it makes when you get into a vehicle. Oh no, it's no problem. I think it might be it might be over here actually. I think it was under the green one. Between here and that green point. I just need to see it. I see it. There it is. I couldn't tell because I have so much funny moments. I could try to find some. I don't know what my funniest moment is, but I have a bunch of funny moments. Well, these kids, I was saying, I was in Apex Legends. Actually, hold on. Give me a second. Ready? And you make like hell because I'm carrying hydrogen on my back. And you split it into small pieces and you shred that. Hold on, give me a second. What is this? What is this? It's a giant structure. Looks like some sort of like charging port. It's got power cables. It's like... What is this? It's got no spots. It's like you park vehicles possibly on it. Alright, so these idiots were on Apex. They were telling me, like, I was in ranked. And I'm like, hey, do you want to friend me so we can grind? Or like, oh, why would we ever be friends with a loser like you? And he's like, oh yeah, get out of our game. Well, so they start, like, we're looting up in the same place. It's in the King's Canyon. It's by the area. It's by the bunker. I can't remember that much of the map anymore, but it's got like this thing in the center, and it's got like little houses around it, and it's really close to the center of the map, probably southeast of the center of the map. Anyway, these kids were being little assholes, like, why would you ever friend you? I'm like, oh, whatever, okay, play the game, will be up. So I'm off looting, and they're not way too far from me, and they encounter their squad, and they knock one person, and then they both get knocked after that. So then they are crawling and they're almost dead. So I'm going over there and I completely wiped the frickin' floor with both of the two people who killed them. I'm like, you gonna say you're sorry? They shut their damn mouths right after that, man. They shut up. And I'm like, you're gonna be that. Wait, what? Oh, I'm confused. I thought that was split in 4 ways. I'm like, what? 4 ways? That doesn't exist. Blur out the background? Why did I blur out the background? What do you mean blur out the background? The stream? That might be because of lag. I mean, you are literally in Indonesia, so my stream is taking a lot of time to get to where you live. Look at that. That's infinite power machine. It's still going. Mark! That is amazing how big these things have gotten. This is the biggest item model in the game. I love Skeeter. She's so cute. I love Sky. Her little barks. Next to mine, it would be probably 10-second delay at most. It wouldn't make too much of a difference. I might actually go take a break from streaming. I might actually go take a shower. Actually, yeah, I'm sorry guys. I'm not trying to be that person. I'm kind of distracted on my game right now, and if I actually take a shower, I can definitely take a moment to stop and plan out what I'm going to do next. Don't worry, I'll be back within about 30 minutes. I might either be on this stream or I might be playing with Kyle. Yep, I gotta go too. Bye.